Welcome to this series of Money Mindset interview. Today we have Bor Wen with us. Bor Wen, would you like to share with us a little bit about yourself?
So, hi everyone, my name is Bor Wen and I'm actually the co-founder of Ultimate Investing. So, just to share a little bit about my career, after finish army, I started my first career in Great Eastern as a financial advisor. And then I've stayed there for 7 years. And now I have left the industry and now I'm a full-time investor. So, I actually invest in 4 F&B restaurants and then I invest in overseas properties and as well as the stock market.
Wow, a full-time investor.
Yep.
So this conversation is going to be very interesting because it's a lot about money, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I guess money goes very closely linked with investment and business owner and
Definitely,
stuff like
definitely.
that. So the first question we'll start off with what does money mean to you?
Okay, so for me personally, I find that money is basically just a tool. Okay, so it's like a tool for me to survive. So basically for me to buy my food, my water, my electricity. And it's also a tool for happiness. So if I want to, so for example, if I love Ding Tai Fung, I need money to actually buy my Ding Tai Fung and then I feel happy. So yeah, it's basically a tool for me to get, to survive, to be happy, for achievement, and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting. So money is a tool for you to achieve to achieve and to buy the things. Of course, we are practical people, so we have
Yep.
to eat, we have to live, we have to spend money. So money is a tool for you to get
Yep.
the things that you want. And so I want to explore a little bit on what is your belief about what can money do for you.
Okay, so what can money do for me? I think very important is, like I said just now, I think in order for us to survive, we definitely need money for us to buy food.
Yeah.
Okay, and then to be able to buy the things that I love, to be happy. So for me, I love to gain experience, life experience. So I like to travel around the world. And actually for me to do that, again, I will need money in order for me to do that. Okay, and actually in Singapore, we actually need money to actually protect our money. And that is where, insurance actually comes in. But I would say overall, to me, family is very important. And I find that having sufficient money is actually very good for family bonding as well. So for example, maybe once a month, I can bring my family out for a family meal. Or every year, I bring my family out for a holiday at least 2 times a year. So I feel that in a sense, is very important to me when it comes to family bonding. Yeah.
Very interesting. And I picked out something earlier. You mentioned that it's important to use money to, what's the phrase? Protect money.
I have to protect money.
Yeah. Can you share with us a little bit more about that?
Okay, because I would say that maybe my 7 years as a financial advisor, I am actually an advocate of life insurance. So I realized that today I can make a lot of money, but if let's say today I were to fall sick or if any unforeseen circumstances like an accident were to hit me, and if I'm not protected, basically, I might lose all the money that I would have. And as a result of that, I will lose my happiness, I will lose my maybe even a basic survival. Yeah, but there's actually this thing called insurance. And insurance basically, you just basically need to pay money. So it's actually using a small amount of money to protect the future money that you are going to potentially have. And I find that is a good instrument that everybody should be aware of.
Yeah, very interesting. And it's good to take a peek inside the minds of course we're not selling insurance here, but it's good to take
Yeah.
a peek inside the minds of someone who who is in the financial industry, financial advisory industry as well. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So that's interesting. So given that you have because with your 7 year stint as a insurance advisor,
That's right.
it has a lot to do with money, and of course with your own now that you're doing your investment full time.
Yes.
What are some of the money habits that you can share with us that are working for you?
Okay, so some of the habits that I do have is I always believe in making money work hard for me. Because when I was young, I was actually more of a saver. So I actually save a lot. and I put it into my piggy bank. In fact, every year I actually love to wash my money, wash the coin, and yeah, basically
Watch
I
the
just
ball.
love, yeah, basically I just take out all the coin and I wash them and I clean them one by one. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean that was like a saver lah. So basically, my piggy bank was everything to me. But after I started working and I realized that actually, when I actually spend money, the money actually comes back faster. So the more money that I actually invest, the more money I actually receive. So ever since I understand that theory, I started to make money work very, very hard for me. So I started to invest in things like properties. I invest in business. Invest in the stock market a lot. And I think one thing that I learned is also I invest a lot in myself lah. So before I go to any investment, I actually invest in the knowledge first before I go in. So I think that has been working pretty well for me.
And that's a very important thing that you brought out, the investment in the knowledge before stepping into any financial instruments,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Mm.
And I was sorry, I wanted to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned
Okay.
you have been a saver since young.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
and one of the reason I brought this up is because it would be of interest to a lot of our viewers who are parents as well. So
Mm-hmm.
what is it that sparked that saving habit, and how did it get sustained over um the your lifetime till now?
Okay, so did I actually get this saver
Yes,
my,
habit.
my
Yeah.
habits? I would say that it was actually since young lah. Since young, because my parents, they don't actually give me a lot of money for allowance. So I remember when I was in primary school, I probably get like 50 cents a day. So I would actually like out of the 50 cents I would spend 30 cents and I'll just save 20 cents, and this thing just repeat, day after day, day after day. So I make it a habit. At the end of the day, I will have some gains lah. Okay, at least some savings, like 10 cents, 20 cents, and maybe half a year I will go and spend it on things I like. So at a point of time, buying the country eraser is very popular, so I will actually spend like $5 on a box of country eraser, and things like that. So I was actually happy. I realized that when I save money and I get to buy the things that I want, it wasn't really that difficult lah. And of course, I think the discipline is, I basically can buy the same food every single day. I don't have to spend things like, I mean, I don't go to restaurants, at the point of time. So it wasn't difficult for me. It was pretty easy for me lah. Basically, is whatever money I have, I spend within my means, and I save it at the end of the day to buy the things that I want. Yeah, so that just goes on all the way until I think in poly. Even in poly, I still receive like a monthly allowance from my parents, and I still have the habits of basically spending within my earnings. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And okay, as you were talking about the country erasers, right? I can resonate with it. I think you are actually probably a bit younger than me, or we are from the same era. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Correct.
I also have those country erasers when I was young.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
whole
that's very
of it,
popular. The whole box, yeah.
yeah. And it's interesting to pick out that since young you have already implemented what we call as
Mm,
delayed gratification.
yeah, that's right.
Not buying whatever that we want on the spot, but then
Mm,
saving uh amounts, accumulating it, and then eventually not only buying one eraser but the whole box of eraser at one go.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, so that's very interesting, and it's a very good habit to pick up since young. And of course it has you mentioned throughout poly as well that it would
Yes.
have helped you along the way. Are you still is that still one of your ongoing habits that you have currently?
I would say that of course my expenses and everything actually go up along the way, and I actually spend more on even like restaurants and stuff. But for me, is I always spend it on the right, wisely lah, in the sense that, for example, if I were to meet my friends, if I were to treat them a meal, so I feel that I might not get the returns immediately, but my friends will be happy, and maybe one day they will actually return the favor. So there's a lot of this kind of investment. I'll say that yeah. So although I do spend more, but I somehow or another the money actually comes back lah. So
Ah.
So
Yeah.
I do, I mean, I don't really spend on things that I don't really need. In fact, I probably go shopping once a year, you know, and stuff. I don't really spend a lot. Yeah. But I do invest a lot in friends, in causes, in the stock market, in investment. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. So you don't spend a lot on yourself, but you spend on investment, you spend on education, you spend on things that you feel will give you returns,
That's
if I
right.
can
That's
put
right.
it
That's
another
right.
way, over time.
Mm, mm, mm.
So interesting. So along your course of probably investing, or in probably the cases that you have seen as a financial advisor as well,
That's right.
along the way, because 7 years is a long time, and
Mm.
along the way, and also as a investor, and yeah, with your current experience, are there any money lessons that you have experienced throughout and that you're open to share with us?
Okay, so yeah, like I said just now, I've been a saver since young. So actually, when I was first exposed to investment when I was actually 21 years old, so I just entered the financial advisory when I was 22. You know, so because I was in this industry, so people around me was talking about, you know, unit trust, savings, insurance and stuff. So I also got to know about this thing called investment from one of my colleagues. So I was very excited, and I was reading a lot of books, you know, by Robert Kiyosaki, and I basically just want to jump into the investment world, you know. So but because I would say that probably I wasn't that knowledgeable. When I was 23 years old, I actually lost about 5 figures of my savings. So whatever I saved for the past 20 over years, you know,
Wow.
within less than a year, I basically almost wiped out my savings.
And
uh,
that was through investment, via
that was
investment, or
that was through investment. Yep.
okay,
And actually it was a leverage tool. I was into this thing called CFD.
okay,
So actually, ever since then, I still believe the power of investing. I still invest, but I started to invest a lot in education, because I realized that I went into the investment without educating myself first. I simply followed other people and just jumped in, you know. So even yeah, so basically for me, I started to invest a lot on education first. Yeah, but even along the ways, there are also friends who actually recommend me certain investment that gives very very high returns. And what I'll do is I will actually portfolio size. I will just invest a small amount to actually test it out first. You know, but I realized at the end of the day, none of them actually works out lah. Anything that is giving me very very high returns, you know, all of them are actually Ponzi scheme. So that's where I actually realized one thing, and that is nobody actually cares about your money more than you do lah. So I always, you know, make sure that I take care of my money now.
wow. So the phrase is very powerful. Nobody cares about your money more than you do. So the same rationale applies where, if we don't take care of our money now, then people around, nobody else will be taking care of it, because we will be the ones who are most concerned and have the most impact on how, whether our money grows or not.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to pick up something, but it slipped my mind. Okay. Okay, never mind. Let's move on first. So yeah, and a lot of times money is linked to retirement. So maybe you can share with us a little bit about what is retirement to you.
Okay, sure. So retirement to me is actually having enough money to be able to stop working. So for example, my dad, he's actually 65 and he's going to retire next year. But what makes him actually want to retire is because he feels that even if he were to stop working, the amount of savings that he have is probably enough to last for the rest of his life. And that is when he feel that he is able to actually retire, you know. But for me, actually, it's a bit different because once I understand the idea of passive income and to also build a business that actually pays me even when I'm not working, retirement, this word right, actually becomes obsolete. So I don't really have to uh, keep working all the way until, you know, like 50 or 65 or even 70 years old. But rather, I actually work because I need to. Lah. No, I actually work not because I need to, but rather it's because I want to work. It could be for a passion, it could be for a higher purpose, it could be also be even for a sense of achievement. Mm.
So is that the stage where you are at now, where you work because you want to, not because you have to?
Uh, to a certain extent, yes. Okay, I'll say that I have actually built quite a decent amount of passive income, but I'll say that in order for me to get the kind of lifestyle that I want for not just myself and my family, it has to be higher lah. I still need more passive income lah. But if let's say I am able to survive on just normal survivor, literally I can don't work and live on passive income. So it really depends on what I want lah. But I'll say that having that little passive income right now actually gives me more choices to actually pursue the things that I want. It gives me more freedom, to be able to make a better, I would say, decision, when it comes to planning my life. I don't have to, find a job urgently, or I don't have to do the things, just to make sure that I have money to pay for food on the table. Gives me more choice, I would say.
Yeah, and I want to touch a little bit about passive income because
Okay.
passive income is a very common, well, in my world at least, because
Mm-hmm.
probably in our world as well. Passive income is a common terminology used, and um, it probably means, I'm sure it means different things to different people.
That's
So
right.
would you be able to share with us a little bit on what passive income is to you? And I know that this is a little bit sensitive and personal, so it's okay if you don't share as
Mm-hmm.
well. But the question is actually what because this interview is to explore and take a peek into the lives and minds about money in about people around us. So
That's
when
right.
it comes to passive income, maybe share with us about what is passive income to you and how what's the percentage like of your passive income that comes from the different investment vehicle that you shared with us earlier, if it's convenient to share, of course.
Okay. Of course, it's good to share with the public. So my idea of passive income is actually to invest in assets that actually pay us money. Whether we are working or not working. So people have different definition of assets. For example, let's say we talk about properties in Singapore. So a lot of people finds that property in Singapore is an asset. But the matter of fact is it really depends on whether today you are staying in the property or actually you are renting out the property. So when I stay in the property, I don't actually get any money out of the condo or even the HDB. I have to pay mortgage. So every month money is flowing out from my bank account. But if let's say today I'm actually renting out and I'm getting a positive cash flow. So every month, even when I'm not doing anything, money just comes in terms of the rental income. And that to me is a form of passive income. So when it comes to passive income, we want to make sure that one day our passive income is actually more than our expenses. So for instance, if my basic survival is at $2,000 every single month.
Mm-hmm.
So when my passive income coming from my investment source, can be properties, can be investment, can be business, is more than 2,000, so that is where I can actually, stop working and just purely depends on the asset that gives me the passive income every single month. So when it comes to the different percentage of passive income, so for me, because I started from investing, so the main bulk of my passive income actually comes from stocks. So we do option strategies. So options is able to give us returns of like 2 to 4% every single month in terms of the passive income. But because of this knowledge, I also want to diversify into different asset class. So that was where actually about 1.5 years ago, I went into business, restaurants. So investing in a restaurant, so same thing. As the business makes money, every quarter I will be able to receive a dividends. So that would be my passive income. So why do I say that it's passive? Is because I don't have to do anything. Like even right now when I'm doing the interview, my staff is working hard for me. I have a manager to actually manage the restaurants. So every quarter, all I do is I just ask them for my dividends. And make
Well,
sure that my dividends come on time. Yeah, so that is passive income to me. Having money coming without me doing anything.
that's good. And what percentage of your passive income comes from the investment, the options, the stocks, and the business side,
I'll say
restaurant side?
right now is about is still about 90% from investment and about 10% from the business. Yeah, because business, for the first year, probably we might not be looking at a lot of high dividends lah. So it actually take about 2 to 3 years, for the dividends to actually increase. So the main bulk for me is at the current moment is still investing.
So I'm just curious, when you say passive, so when you trade in, of course, you mentioned that you trade in stocks and sorry, I should use the word trade. When you invest in stocks and options, right? Are these long term where you just put in the money and let it ride, or do you have to do something about it? As in, do you have to like monitor the market, for example?
Okay, definitely we have to monitor the market because if you don't know anything about the market, then it's better not to go in. But for our strategies, or rather the strategies that I've been using, probably I'll just need about 5 to 10 minutes every single day just to get an understanding on how the market has been moving. And then every single month, I'll spend like a half an hour to actually execute, the investment. So I'll say minimum every day, I'll say 3 to 5 minutes just to take a look. And every single month, at least 30 minutes to actually execute, all the trades that to actually get the passive income.
Wow, that sounds like a very good use of your time.
Yeah. So actually, we do have quite. I do have quite a lot of time. I don't really have to look at all the screens every single day.
Yeah.
Every single second. So it's a different kind of investing.
Yeah, and of course we all know you also mentioned about investing in education on oneself. And for you to reach the level where you are now, where you only need to spend 3 to 5 minutes a day to just glance at the market and probably half an hour once a month to place the trades or stuff like that, how long did it take you to reach this level?
How long did it took me to reach this level?
And of course I know everyone is different. So,
yes.
Just curious, how maybe I should ask the bigger question as to how long has this lifestyle been? Have you been living this lifestyle and yeah, how long did it take you to probably? I'm sure our viewers are curious to know. Yeah, how long did it take you to reach this level of profit?
Okay, for me,
or expertise?
I would say that for me, I've been investing for about 5 years now. However, I would say that based on the system that we actually have, we actually refine it so that it is actually very easy for anybody to be able to implement. So like, for example, I actually taught a few of my friends all these investing strategies, and I would say that in 3 to 4 months, they are actually good enough to even teach other people, and to be able to make a good profit on their own. So I'll say that 3 to 4 months is actually highly possible. But again, it depends on individual. So like my friends, because I get to, they get to talk to me quite often. So any questions, they will just actually throw to me. So 3 to 4 months for them to become, I would say, if proficient in what they are doing is actually highly possible.
Yes, and of course, the disclaimer here is everyone is different with different expertise, different background, different experience level as well. So
That's right.
yeah, so that's probably one of the disclaimers. Excuse me. So yeah, so probably the one of the last questions that I have is maybe you can share with us what is the best money advice you have received.
Okay, what is the best money advice that I have received? I'll say it's two things. Number one is always to invest in yourself. Okay, to always invest in myself. And the reason being is, again, same thing. Nobody cares about money more than me, more than myself. Yeah. So, there are people who actually come to you with a lot of good lobang, good recommendation, good, I would say, I don't know, good investment portfolio. But, in order for you to be able to analyze and see whether is it a good thing, you need to be educated in it. So I would say that, always invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, and, always remember nobody cares about your money more than you do. So always make sure, we do our own due diligence before, doing any kind of investment. And I'll say that for me, I like to use money to actually make more money. So same thing goes to investing in other people, investing in friendship, investing in the people around you. So I feel that treating your family members well, treating your friends well, is one of the best thing that I actually get, like, because when I'm outside, these are the people that I connect that actually are helping me. So I used to be a saver. I don't really spend on my friends, I don't treat them anything, until my family tell me that I am a bit like a stingy, and now I feel that it's totally opposite lah. In fact, the more money I spend on my friends, and I actually receive more at the end of the day. So find a balance between saving and investing your money, and I'll say that, yeah.
Wow. So so you shared that it's important to invest in oneself, but more than that is also there's a balance, and also to invest in, you mentioned, relationships with
Yes, yes.
friends and family members as well. So it's about the investment part, and you actually gain returns from your investment in relationship as well.
Correct. So like I say, money is basically just a tool. Even if I have a lot of money in my bank doing nothing, I don't get anything out of it. I don't gain happiness. But by spending the money and buying maybe my family a gift, giving them a nice holiday, I actually get to receive a lot more beyond just what money actually can give me. So that to me is a sense of achievement, a sense of happiness. You can actually get a lot more, when you actually start spending more money lah. So now I actually kind of I spend more money, but I always make sure that money comes back to me, in multiple folds.
Wow, you make sure money comes back to you in multiple folds. Is there a proven methodology? Are you referring to the investment part in doing that?
It can be investment. It can also be maybe things like outsourcing. So in the past, I like to do things on my own. So everything I rather use my time in exchange for money. But after exposing to the business world, I realized that it would be easier if I actually hired other people to do it. Yeah, so I actually have to pay money, but at the end of the day, I actually receive more lah. So it really depends on which one is more important to you. So in the past, I don't take taxi. I mean, once a year, probably I'll take like 2 to 3 times. But let's say for now, I actually treasure my time and my sleep more than money. So I travel on Grab and Uber, normal Uber, yeah, Grab, because I feel that I can actually save more time. So even when I spend more, but it's actually more worth it for me lah. So actually, it really depends on how you weigh money and the things that you want.
Yeah, that's true. It totally depends on how one wastes money and what the person wants, right? What is more important to them, and to spend on what's important to them.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Before we end off, is there anything else that you want to add on before we end off?
Let me think. Okay. Okay, just one last thing that I actually learned from MMI is actually you must love money lah, and money will love you. So as much as I don't want to be a money hoarder and stuff, but we have to accept that we have to love money, so that money actually gets attracted to us. And I always firmly believe that today, when I have a lot of money, I can actually do more to society and stuff. So that is actually one of my beliefs lah, to be able to make more wealth, so that I can give back more to the society as well.
Yes, and that is a very interesting mindset shift when it comes to money. Yeah. So yes, thank you very much for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much.
It's all very interesting, and yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.